Have you felt the love and the joy that's erupting in the world?
Yes.
It's amazing. And like I said last Sunday, I'm saying, before I die or leave this earth, I'll never die. We're going to see peace on this earth. We are, and it's going to start with us, as we know. And I feel like this month has been so powerful between listening and celebrating peace that I don't know. It's just instilled it in me even more. So it's time, right? And as Reverend Diane said, and as we've been saying all month long, to start within us. It has to start within us. We cannot expect it to start anywhere else. And it sounds cliche, but it's not cliche. It is the truth. It is the truth. And then, because if it starts within us, then when we go out into the world, we come from that place. And the more of us that do that, the tipping point is reached. And pretty soon, and uniforms, I keep going out, I don't know why. Those guns and swords and uniforms will be tossed on the ground, no more to be seen. They will just move into the nothingness from which they came. I just know that, yes. I love that. Because they're just an effect of something else. So if they're an effect of what's in consciousness, then when the consciousness changes, they have to disappear, because everything in the quantum field is fluid, and it's moving, and it's particles and waves, and those guns are particles now of somebody's consciousness that is all of us, for one reason or another. There's many of us that are thinking that's the only way, but I'm just knowing, I'm knowing, before I leave this planet, there will be peace. Well, I'd like to stay a while longer too, but what? Yeah, to enjoy it, I would. So today our topic is, do you hear what I hear? It's not the song, but it's a Christmas song, right? But yet it was written, I guess, by a gentleman who I know, who wrote it during the Cuban Missile Crisis as a cry for peace. And so we sing it at Christmas, but it's really about more than that. It's about a cry for peace. And so, do you hear what I hear? I don't think it's necessarily possible for you to hear what I hear, because we're all individuals. And so we all hear differently from where we're at. So wherever we're at in consciousness, that's where we hear from. We can't hear from anywhere else besides from our own, not our ears, but our own consciousness, which is intuiting through us. So with that in mind, the more of us that hear the sound of peace, that hear the sound of love, that hear the sound of compassion and goodness and all these things at a higher level, the more that's going to transform itself. Because there is a tipping point. I totally believe that. And there is a shift, and it's already taken place, and we're just moving into it. And I just feel that that's where the work is. The work is to start listening with different ears and start hearing what's really being said, and start testing that against love, testing that against compassion, testing that against unity and wholeness and goodness and equality, and all these things that are values that we have as a country and as people. I know you have your own set of values, I'm sure, but next month our topic is going to be choice, and we're going to talk more about values. But we hear from our values too, right? And that's where we should be hearing from, is our values, not should. I hate using the word should. But if we have values, then we should listen from those values and see if things agree with us or not. So do you hear what I hear? There's a place within you that has big ears. It's your heart. And I would like you to put your hand on your heart right now. This is a little exercise you can do to really listen to your heart, where you slow your breath down to 6 counts in. You close your eyes first to allow yourself to remove yourself from the outside world. And we got this beautiful rain falling and blessing us right now, which is beautiful, right? What a beautiful sound of peace. And we move into our heart space by maybe putting our hand there to anchor ourselves there, or draw our attention there. And then when we slow down our breath, what's happening is we're letting go of the chatter of our brains, and we're letting our hearts intuit what's true. So take a few deep breaths from your heart, slowly. Let's take like 3 of them in. And out. In. And out. In. And out. And without opening your eyes and just continuing to breathe slowly, just ask your own heart. My heart, it could be any question. What do I need to know right now? What about this? Whatever's going on in your life. And your heart will answer very directly. It won't ever, ever be negative. It'll always be positive. It will be clear. It will be concise, and it will be love. So take another deep breath and just ask your heart, my heart, ... whatever that is, and take a moment to listen. And just take another deep breath. And open your eyes when you're ready. And just realize that you can do that anytime. Anytime you're in the middle of traffic, you're getting ready for a doctor appointment, you're just come out and gotten a diagnosis of some sort, you're worried about your finances, whatever. You can do that. You can slow your breath down, put your hand on your heart, and ask it what's next for you. And it will tell you. And the more you do it, the more you'll get used to listening to it and recognizing its voice. Because if you find that it's telling you things like directions and stuff like that, that's not your heart. That's your analytical beta brain talking to you. It'll be just very clear and very concise. So my heart, I wasn't going to do this, but my heart told me to read the poem that I had for you. And it comes from something called The Sacred Path Companion by Lauren Artress, who is a reverend in San Francisco of the Grace Cathedral, who actually brought the labyrinth that you're sitting on, brought the labyrinth to America and back to the world, brought it alive again. And she wrote this. And the lists laid aside, and the wild iris blooms by itself in the dark forest. What still pulls at your soul? In between your heartbeats hides a summons. Do you hear it? Name it if you must, or leave it forever nameless. But why pretend it's not there? I'm going to read it one more time. And the lists are laid aside, and the wild iris blooms by itself in the dark forest. What still pulls at your soul? In between your heartbeats hides a summons. Do you hear it? Name it if you must, or leave it forever nameless. But why pretend it's not there? I think that's really powerful because I think we're all being called to hear and to listen to what's within us and to actually take it out and look at it and know that we're safe to look at it and to know that where that is our healing. It's all within us. And I'm not just talking about physical healing now, I'm talking about healing of everything that needs to be healed in our life, because this is a time for me, and if you take the invitation, to just actually turn yourself inside out and allow yourself to heal those hidden places that might still require it. You know, we're wonderful, we're amazing, we're perfect. Even our shadows and all of that is perfection. It's God's perfection. It's the light and the love and the energy and the source. And sometimes we're covering things up, and we push them back down, and we don't want to really look at them and really listen. But we are so safe to do that, and there's so much help available to do that. Just turn on YouTube, and there's free information all over the place that allows us to be guided. But the most important place is within ourselves. That's where we're going to get the guidance. And I'm going to be wearing red dresses more often, because I've completed my book, and Sue Buckley is proofreading it right now, and the cover's being designed, and it's called Where Is My Red Dress? And as I wrote this book, I took everything out of my closet into the light. And I had to do it. And because I did it, I feel like so much more wholeness. So like I told you last week, my red dress is my wholeness. And but we can't reach there if we're not willing to look at everything and allow it to come out, and not condemn it and not blame it and all of that, but just to hold it and love it and just go, wow, that's me. And now I know how to move forward to where I want to go, because I've looked at it. It's not so scary once you've looked at it. So that's my message for today, because do you hear what I hear? I can't hear what you hear in your heart. I can't tell you what to do or how to do it. I mean, I might be able to help with some tools, but you're the one that has to go deep. And this is the time to go deep and to really settle into those values and that love and that energy and that source that you are, and listen for its vibration within you, because it's there and you're safe to do it. That's what I know. That's what I say. And I'm going to read the poem one more time. So let's just take a deep breath. All the lists laid aside, the wild iris blooms by itself in the dark forest. What still pulls at your soul? In between your heartbeats hides a summons. Do you hear it? Name it if you must, or leave it forever nameless. But why pretend it's not there? So let's just take a deep breath and know right here that the presence and power of love keeps us safe at all times to look and to explore and to heal. And I know that is the possibility and the unlimited potential in the field of all possibilities, which is love. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.